We're alive.
All right. We're going in with the niggin first?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, you did it down, yeah, oh, you did it down, yeah, did it down, I did it, down. I did that down, oh, you did it down, I did it down, I did it down. Hey, I did it down, I did it down, oh, yeah, did it down. Oh, did it down, did it down, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Hey, yeah, my did it down, my did it down. Hey, yeah, my did it down, I did it down, bam, 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 oh, yeah, yeah. Hey, I did it down, I did it down, I did it down, I did it down. Hey, I did it down, I did it down, That's what I call a niggin Bitzalel.
Me too. Hey, kids, what time is it?
Time for Gezintahait 3.
It is time for Gezintahait Street. And before we start the story tonight, I'm going to tell an incident that happened when Reb Eisel of Hamel told that when he came to Liazna, which was the first town where the Alter Rebbe revealed himself as the Rebbe, there were older Hasidim from the Maggid of Medrash and Mendel the Haraducker. And they used to say, love a Jew and Hashem will love you. Do a favor for a Jew and Hashem will bring you close to him. And with this Chassidus, said Rabbi Eisel, they lived for decades. When the Alter Rebbe came, he revealed the Chassidus they were living with is the body of a Chassid. And the body must be healthy and pure. But the Torah of Chassidus, Chabad Chassidus, is the wisdom and understanding which crowns that body. All of that love and favors for another Jew is crowned by the Chabad Chassidus with a crown of light. Now, the story tonight is a very practical story as far as our lives and how to live. Our Rebbe told the story, our Rebbe, that once he entered the previous Rebbe's room in Leningrad. The previous Rebbe was scheduled to leave on a train from Moscow very shortly. And this occurred back when the Soviet government actively forbade religious observance and education. Our Rebbe emphasized the tension that such a trip entailed for the previous Rebbe. Government officials knew that while sitting in his room in Leningrad, he was constantly working to strengthen Torah true Judaism and spreading the wellsprings of Chassidus. When he traveled, it certainly must be to accomplish things that couldn't be done by an emissary. Furthermore, this dangerous revolutionary, the previous Rebbe, intended to visit the capital city, the very heart of communism. And the previous Rebbe was the leader of the main group dedicated to keeping Torah true Judaism alive, so his every move was scrutinized with 7 eyes. That is the way the Rebbe put it. The danger was truly life-threatening, not only to the previous Rebbe, but to everyone involved in the underground movement. But wonder of wonders, the previous Rebbe was sitting, learning Torah at rest, as if he did not have a care in the world. Furthermore, his learning entailed deep concentration that would require serious resolutions leading to future action. Our Rebbe could not hold back from asking his father-in-law, how are you able to sit serenely learning Torah when a trip fraught with such danger is imminent? True, the mind rules the heart, but to such an extent? Our Rebbe told his father-in-law, the previous Rebbe. The previous Rebbe told our Rebbe that his father, the Rebbe Rashab, once heard from his father, the Rebbe Miraj, that a person must prevail upon himself, that when he's involved in a certain endeavor, anything else in his life, whether a thing that already happened or something that needs to be taken care of in the future, has to be considered as if it never existed at all. Anything that happened, anything that he's going to have to take care of, does not exist at all. He is only in the moment where he is doing that mission that he has to carry out in that moment. So even though he only has a short time, he can use that time fully because he won't be distracted. And this is called success in time, haslacha in zman. And the Rebbe Miraj, that would be the grandfather of the previous Rebbe, brought a living example of this behavior by citing the example of the great Torah commentator, Rabbi Shlomo ibn Aderet, known as the Rashba. The Rashba taught 3 classes every day to advanced students, which required considerable preparation. He researched and wrote answers to many difficult and complicated questions of Jewish law, which he received from rabbis in far-flung cities. He was also a doctor who treated patients every day. Nevertheless, he found time to walk
take a
it,
walk.
and of course, spend time on his own service of prayer and learning.
He walked for an hour.
Yeah, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a bad idea for us. How did he find time for all these activities? The answer is he had tzlacha and time. When he learned, nothing else existed for him but the material in front of him. And when he wrote answers to questions, and he treated his patients, or even took a walk, each activity was the only thing that existed for him at that time. Ta-ta-pa-pa-pa.
Hey.
Next, do we have a niggin? Or
Yeah, first of all, hello everybody. Hello, Abba Steinhauser. By the way, I went to see the Rebbe in Crown Heights, and you know, when you go to see the Rebbe, if you get hungry, you go to a bunch of bagels and you go to get apples to eat. And there I saw our good friend Abba Steinhauser.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was very Abba. It was very nice to see you. We should meet on lots of simches, Abba. And Omer Kaddisin, and hello to Marla Emdo and Angelica and Marvin Hakayan and Ira Hakayan, executive producer Ira Hakayan Katz, and you should have Gezunt and Naches. Yeah, and we should have and Mazel Tov to Rachel Markel and the engagement to the great Eli Yishu. And hello, Dr. Rabbi Goldstock and Rabbi Zagvi and all of our friends.
Ari Hyman.
Oh, Ari Heinen. Yeah, Ari. Hello, Ari. And Erika. Oh, hello, everybody. It's
And
nice
Mordechai
Mordechai
HaYehudi.
What about Omek?
Yeah, Omek
We said
Kaddisin.
it,
Yeah,
we said it.
of course.
You
The
said
great.
Omek?
Yes. You know, that's a very deep thing.
Yes.
Omek is very
Yes.
deep. A very
Deep stuff.
hello to a very deep friend, Omek. Okay, so what do we got?
This one sounds just like the other one.
Oh. Bitzalel, it's a Fabrengen tonight, I tell you that.
Ain't nothing but a party.
Now, talking about the Fabrengen,
We discussed before about the levels of revelation of godliness, the level of paradise, the days of Mashiach, and the world to come, the world of the resurrection. Tonight, Gimel Elef is going to go over that story for us. Are you okay?
yes,
You're okay with
speaking
that?
of a Fabrengen, to understand the resurrection of the dead. So, you know, like it says, Kol Yisrael, Yesh Lahem Chilek Lo'imam Habo. My dear brothers and sisters, all Israel have a portion in the world to come. Now, the world to come here means the resurrection of the dead. In this passage, that's what it means, the world to come. What's the proof? The proof is that one who has no portion in the world to come is one who denies that the resurrection of the dead is not Torah. This is somebody who has no portion in the world to come when he denies this. And therefore, obviously, one who has a portion in the world to come is one who believes in the resurrection of the dead, and that's why it means that. All Israel. Now, by the fact that it says all Israel, we can see that this is not talking about paradise, Gan Eden. Why? Because we know that Gan Eden requires many conditions in order for the soul to enter and bask in that level of godliness.
It's a tough place to get into.
It's a tough place to get into.
It really is.
They don't let everybody. They're not just taking everybody. Why? You have to have clean hands and a pure heart, etc. The dwelling place of souls without bodies. That's what paradise is. As opposed to the world of resurrection, in which the souls are in bodies. That's why they resurrected. It means the soul comes back in a body. So the reason why Gan Eden, paradise, is sometimes it's also called the world to come. And this is because the souls enter there after 120 years in our world. So that means there's now, and then there's of the world that's to come, which is at that point. However, not so the resurrection, not so the revelation in the world to come, the main level, which is called the world to come, which is much greater than that, a much bigger revelation. Because it is the world of resurrection, of which it is said that all Israel has a portion in the world to come. That's what it's talking about, is this world of resurrection. And it says all Israel with no preconditions. Because like we said, with paradise, there's conditions. You have to be a good boy, with a clean hands, with a pure heart. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of conditions going on here. But all Israel has a portion in the world to come. So obviously, it's not talking about this. It's talking about the higher level, the time of the resurrection. So we need to understand, Bitzalel, since the revelation of the world of resurrection is much higher than the revelation in Gan Eden, as we see that Gan Eden exists now, right? Right now, if when a person who was a good boy and he passes away, right now he goes to the Gan Eden. Right
He's
now,
there now.
it's now. Not so the revelation of the world of reincarnation, which is only in the future. This did not happen yet. This only happens later, after the coming of Mashiach. Not only that, but the world and the revelations of that time, of the world of reincarnation, they're not just that when Mashiach comes, but they're after an intermediate level, which is called the days of Mashiach, Yemois HaMashiach, which is also not now, but rather in the future. So before we even get to that, we first have to Yemois HaMashiach, and then we get to this world to come. And it is understood that the revelation of Olam Haba, the world to come, must therefore be even higher than the days of Mashiach. Now you can imagine how high the days of Mashiach, that and all the prophets speak of, in these days of Mashiach, and the swords to plowshares, and the lamb and the sheep with the lion, and the man with his mother-in-law. So this is what the prophet.
The only thing that's required, for a person to be in the days of Mashiach is just to be living at that time during those days.
Yes.
So it's no other schus except that you were born at a time.
Kol Shvin Chavivim.
All the sevenths are special. In the seventh generation, like the Rebbe said, we are the generation of Mashiach. But Leib, it's also not so simple, because like the Rebbe said, it's not just that because we're here, it's also that, like the Rebbe said, that he giving the responsibility and the power to bring the days of Mashiach to the Chassidim. So it's not just, it's also a big responsibility, not just a big reward. Anyways, so we can understand that if the Yemois HaMashiach, the days of Mashiach, right? So then how much more so, if only coming after that, the resurrection, how much higher of a level this must be. We say that there is none comparable to you, to Hashem, and none besides you, not in Gan Eden, and there is nothing with you in the days of Mashiach, and nothing like you at the time of resurrection. Wait, there is none comparable. There is none comparable. So it's 4 levels. Yeah, Bitzalel. None comparable to you is in this world. No one besides you is paradise, Gan Eden. Nothing with you in the days of Mashiach, and nothing like you in the time of resurrection. So these 4 levels, they are from down to up. The revelation of the world to come, meaning Gan Eden, right, which is higher than the paradise one we're talking about.
No, the Gan Eden one is the paradise.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes called the world to come.
Yeah.
I think that's what it.
Yeah. So that level, which is higher than this world.
Higher than this world.
Yeah, but still higher than that is the days of Mashiach. Yemois HaMashiach is higher even than paradise. And finally, even much higher than that, the revelation of the world of resurrection, which is even higher than the days of Mashiach. Nevertheless, in order to reach the comparatively lower level of Gan Eden, there are many conditions. But the revelation of Trias HaMesim, resurrection, this is for every single Jew.
So even though it's a very high level,
Yeah.
Everybody has a portion.
So Bitzalel, this seems like a little bit of a question. How could this be?
How could it be?
Because if it takes so many conditions to reach Gan Eden, and the world to come, the resurrection is so much.
Where
so much
are you?
higher.
Where's the neshama in between?
What?
Well, let's say a person doesn't, after 120 years, passes away, and they're not getting into Gan Eden.
Well, maybe they didn't get into the higher one. They just got into the lower one.
Well,
They're hanging around.
No, you see, Leib, by uns, there's no, we don't have an eternal damnation sort of thing.
No, I'm
But
not
also
saying
after we
damnation. I
get-
just want to know what.
Well,
what
but
they're
so the
doing.
neshama gets cleaned for 11 months at the most, and then it can also go into Gan Eden. Leib, don't worry. After 11 months or so, we'll all be hanging around in paradise.
But there's different levels in paradise
Right.
that are achieved So it's a place with levels. That's the bottom line.
Okay.
Yeah, Leib, if when you get there, you don't see me, you'll know, you'll know it's because you're on a much higher level than I got to. Bitzalel, he don't know it, but there's a special place up there for Leib. If you ever heard the rock bands that go over there, it's heavy duty business. Now the point that answers the question, right? We have a question. Wait a second, how could it be? You can get into paradise, so many conditions, but the world to come, the resurrection, which is no conditions. So it's that the Gan Eden is the reward for Torah learning. Where on the other hand, in Olam Haba, the world of resurrection, it's the reward for the mitzvahs. And from this we can understand why Gan Eden is a world of souls without bodies. And the world of the reincarnation, the souls will be in the bodies, right? Because a mitzvah is done in a physical way. And therefore it has a physical effect. With Torah, it has an effect on our neshama. But with the mitzvah, which we do with our physical thing, it's not a physical effect. And that's why from this comes out the souls are in the bodies. Torah is closer to the soul, while mitzvahs are closer to the body. You hear, Leib, the mitzvahs have a proclivity to be closer to the body. And since all Jews do mitzvahs, right? We know that all Jews do mitzvahs, right? They're full like a not a lemon.
Pomegranate?
Yeah, that's it. A pomegranate. Right? And since all Jews do mitzvahs, therefore,
Seeds of a pomegranate.
So the seeds, yeah. So therefore, since we know that all Jews are full of mitzvahs, so therefore, obviously, all Jews also have a portion in the world to come in the resurrection. Being that the resurrection and the world to come is a result of the mitzvahs, of the physical mitzvahs. Right? Like we say, yeah. So now the revelation of Olam Haba.
That's why everybody has a portion.
Yeah, because everybody has mitzvahs.
Is full of mitzvahs.
Yeah. It says that every Jew is full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate.
Is full of seeds.
Seeds. Well, no, it's full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate is full of seeds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pomegranate.
A pomegranate. Yeah. Anyways, the revelation of Olam Haba, of the resurrection, will be when? It will be only after the days of Yemais HaMashiach, the days of Mashiach, which, like Olam Haba, will also exist in the future, where Gan Eden, the paradise, exists now, even if on a spiritual plane. Meaning, because Gan Eden, that's the whole thing of Gan Eden, it's souls without bodies. By the way, just so you know, on a spiritual plane, people picture like this here and then up somewhere. It's not in space, you know. So it's altogether possible that these souls they're in the same area that we are, but they're on a different plane of existence. And we can see this because this is why souls we know can interact with us. You know, even if we're not always in tune to see them, but we know it says that by a simcha. That the loved ones who have passed, they join us at the simcha, because they actually here too, but they're on a different plane of existence.
The Rebbe told somebody they're on the second floor.
On the second floor. So, anyways, so this is the revelation of Olam Haba is greater than even Yemais HaMashiach, because you have got the paradise is here now. But then only later will be the days of Mashiach, and even later than that will be the Olam Haba, the world to come, the resurrection. The designation of Gan Eden as the world to come. So where's the question? So if that's the case, why is Gan Eden called the world to come? Why don't we just let what the actual world to come, the resurrection, be called that? Why do we even
told us before?
Yeah.
The Gan Eden is called the world to come because it's after 120 years.
And it is because the godly light which shines. Yeah. So
but
why
he's explaining it more and better now.
Explaining it deeper.
Yeah.
Like Oimek Kadison. He's Oimek Kadisoning it deeper.
Oimek, deep.
So anyways, so one of the reasons, because first of all, like we said, it's because it's after you live down here on this world, but also because the godly light which shines and is revealed there is much greater than that in our physical world. By the way, this is not to be confused with accomplishments, because accomplishing we can only do on this world. But the revelation is less on this world. And it's greater, much greater in Gan Eden, in paradise. However, Mashiach, my dear friend, the days of Mashiach is even higher than paradise, higher than Gan Eden. While Olam Haba is even higher than this. Nevertheless, everyone, every Jew, even Chas v'Shalom, sinners of Israel, figuratively speaking, have a portion in the world to come. Olam Haba, the world of reincarnation, the revelation of godliness, is the reward for mitzvahs. And like we said, every Jew is filled with mitzvahs, like a pomegranate is filled with seeds. Therefore, all Jews have a portion in the future world to come. We also see this in the continuation of the Mishnah. Right? In the Mishnah it says, right, Kol Yisrael, Yesh Lahem Chilek Haba, every all of Israel has a portion of the world to come. Right? Shenemar, like it says, Ve'amech kulam tzadikim la'olam yirshu oretz. Your people are all righteous, and forever they will inherit the world. And the Mishnah is not only bringing a proof that all of Israel has a portion in the future world of resurrection, but it is also explaining why, explaining the reason for it. Why is this?
They're all tzaddikim.
Because one who does mitzvahs is called a tzaddik, righteous. Because all the mitzvahs are called acts of charity, tzedakah. And the ones who do those acts of righteousness are called righteous. You know how you become righteous? Righteous dude, by doing righteous things. This is how you become a righteous dude. And since your people are all righteous, all Israel, even the sinners, do mitzvahs, and they are not just they do mitzvahs, they are even filled with mitzvahs. Meaning the mitzvahs that they do fills their entire existence, which is a beautiful thing, Bitzalel. It's not just they're filled with, but just like a pomegranate, the seeds fills the whole pomegranate. Also by a Jew, the mitzvahs fills the whole Jew. Therefore, they will inherit the oath for eternity. The living oath called the life of the world to come.
Which earth? The world to come.
The world to come, the world of resurrection. But now I will have a question, Leib. We really have a question here, you know. Because why does the Mishnah finish after that with, right? It says, the planting of my hands to which I am beautified. They're the voice of Hashem.
Let's call it through which.
Through which they are beautified. Yeah.
I am beautified.
Through which Hashem is beautified.
Yeah.
Yeah. The planting of his hands indicates our essence. Why? Because our souls are godly. Even before they did any Torah and any mitzvahs. Just by their very nature, they are godly. So every Jew has a portion in Olam Haba. But why? As a reward for our mitzvahs? Or because with the planting of his hands? So now we have a quandary. Why? What's the quandary? Because we said two different things. One, we said that they follow mitzvahs, and being that Olam Haba is the reward for the mitzvahs, so they get Olam Haba. But then he says something else, because they are the work of my hands. They are just by their very nature, they are godly, and therefore they belong in this. So the question is, which is it? As a reward for the...
There must be two levels.
Oh! Spoiler alert! So which one is it? That is the essence of their existence, right? Even before doing any mitzvahs. And the Mishnah continues, your people are righteous, they inherit the land. And continues, then they are the planting of your hands. So it would seem that not only do they inherit it because they are righteous, like Leib said, maybe there's two reasons here. Mir seinen smelling two reasons. Maybe it's not only is it because they righteous to the mitzvahs, but also because they are the planting of Hashem's hands.
Maybe it's time for a nigga.
The essential level of being godly. Yeah, this is a good place for it.
So there's two things. One, there's a reward for the mitzvahs.
Yeah.
And one, they are essentially godly.
Yeah. And one is because of something that they do, and one is something that they essentially be, without any doing even of their own, but rather by Hashem doing.
You got it, Leib. And one level of reward is in this world, is hearing Leib play that guitar.
What do you mean? That's Olam Haba.
What is that?
Oh, by the way, I've noticed that Leib is very insistent that we're gonna make tonight, and which, by the way, I tell you makes sense because it is Chodesh Adar, and Leib is insistent. Leib is insistent that we're gonna make it a big farbrengen with lots of simcha. Hey, yo, I did him, oh, I did him, I did, oh, I am, oh, I did him, hey, did him, I did, I am. Hey, oh, I did him, oh, I did him, I did, oh, I am, oh, I did him, oh, I did him, oh, I am. Hey, oh, na, oh, I am, oh, 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 yo, oh, I am, hey, oh, I am. Hey, oh, na, oh, I am, I am, I am. Ay, oh, yeah, ho, ho, ay, 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 hey, oh, ay, ay, hey, oh, ay, 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 ho, ay, 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 hey, la, 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 hey, la, 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 me, baby.
Just a digest of what you were just saying. That
You know, Bitzalel, at my age, you have to digest a little bit.
there's two levels of the godly connection that's going to come about in the world of the resurrection. One, we're going to get a reward for the mitzvahs that we did here. And two, there's going to be a revelation out of the essence of our soul. And that revelation of the essence of our soul is going to be a level of reward, even a higher level of reward than the reward that we're going to get for the mitzvahs that we did. Is that okay?
Yeah, Bitzalel, that makes lots of sense of it.
All right.
But why does every Jew have a portion in the world to come? Is it because of the mitzvahs that they do, or because they're the planting of his hands? The answer is, what's that?
Like Leib said.
That Olam Haba has two levels of reward. One is the reward for our mitzvahs, for the service of our mitzvahs. Your people are righteous. The accomplishment drawn down to our mitzvahs, which is Hashem's infinite delight, this will be revealed in Olam Haba. And through that, we will be raised to a higher level. Two, there's the revelation of our essence. We are the planting of his hands, through which he is beautified, which this is even higher than the mitzvahs. And this is the true greatness and the perfection of the world to come. The revelation of the great preciousness of the Jews in their essential being, the work of the planting of his hand to which he is beautified. Now the reward for mitzvahs is manifest on two levels. Because for the mitzvahs, this is manifest both in Yemei Mashiach, in the days of Mashiach, and then after that, in Olam Haba, the world to come. So in Olam Haba, there is two levels of reward. For mitzvahs, for doing the Hashem's commandments, which is the lower revelation. And then there is the revelation of our essence. Now, the revelation of reward for the mitzvahs also happens in the days of Mashiach, like we said, before the reincarnation. Like it says in the Holy Tanya, that through our service now, the infinite light will be drawn down in your Ma'isa Mashiach and in Olam Haba by the resurrection. But at the resurrection, the revelation will be much greater
than the days of
than the way in the even the reward for our mitzvahs, it will be a bigger revelation in the resurrection than by the days of Mashiach. But at the resurrection, the revelation will be greater. But the main greatness of Trias HaMesim, of the resurrection, will be the revelation of the Jews as they are in their source, in the essence of Hashem, that they are Neitzer Matoa in Masa Yodel Ispoir, that they are the planting of his hands to which he is beautified. The description through which we cited about the world of Tchiyah is of revelation, that we drew down how? Through our Torah and mitzvahs in this world, meaning now. For which the reward for that will be a revelation in the world to come. However, in Gan Eden, in paradise, the reward is for the souls without bodies for learning Torah. Why? Because Hashem's wisdom, which is the Torah, is Hashem's wisdom, is an infilling and limited light. In many places, it explains the difference between Torah and mitzvahs, between learning the Torah and doing Hashem's commandments. Because Torah is Hashem's wisdom, in which an outshine of his pleasure is dressed. However, in mitzvahs, Hashem's rotzen, Hashem's desire is dressed in this. The essence of godly delight, Eden itself, meaning not the garden of Eden, but Eden itself, right? The Garden of Eden, paradise, is just the Garden of Eden. But the godly delight itself, this is Eden itself. While the outshine of godly pleasure revealed through Chachma, right, revealed through the intellect, this is symbolized by the river which flows from Eden to water the garden, like we know in the first parsha it says, right, that the river flowed out of Eden to water the garden of Eden. It is the godly pleasure which is drawn down to the neshamas, to the souls in Gan Eden, right? Because you have this coming out of Eden, and it's coming to water the garden of Eden, these souls without bodies.
What we call paradise.
Yeah, it's coming to give pleasure of a revelation to these souls without bodies in paradise. But it is a small contracted pleasure from Eden, which is drawn down through the river, which, like we know, a river is bina, understanding, which separates between Eden and Gan Eden, between Eden and the Garden of Eden. Because the river that waters the garden, as opposed to, which remember, like we said, this is the reward for learning Torah, as opposed to the reward for the mitzvos, for the commandment, which is unlimited, because they're Hashem's desire, which is much higher than his wisdom, right? When a person desires something, he can desire even he doesn't have to know why. So this is even higher when we're just doing Hashem's commandment because he commanded it. It is higher than even his wisdom, than the Torah. The Ratzain, the will of Hashem, is the surrounding light. And all this is a reward for our work in this world. Both of them, both what we get, the reward for Torah is also for what you do in this world. But since it's only his wisdom, it's a limited thing. On the other hand, because the mitzvah is his desire, it's an unlimited thing. And it's a much greater revelation. But the main revelation and reward in the world to come is higher than that even. It is the revelation of the Jewish essence, the planting of his hands through which he is beautified. So let's explain this better now, these three levels. We have three levels. We have Gan Eden, and we have two levels of Olam Haba. Well, we have the Yemais Mashiach, the days of Mashiach, and the world to come, the Olam Haba. All the prophets, they prophesied only about the Yemais Mashiach. If you look, all the things they say, like we said before, with the stuff, with the swords turning to plowshares,
and the beautiful bread growing up cooked on the ground.
Yeah. And the mother-in-laws turning into sweet women, all these things. All of these things, this is all the days of Mashiach. But Olam Haba is called Eden. That it says about this, Ayin Le'roasa. No eye has seen it. But it could be pointed out that Adam was in the Garden of Eden, in Gan Eden. So apparently, we would say, Mistame Adam Sa Eden also. But there are two different things, because one is Eden, which no eye has seen, and two is the Garden of Eden, where Adam, right, the first person, Adam Arishin, where he resided, which was separated, like we said before, by a river which flows from Eden to water the Garden of Eden. The garden by itself and Eden by itself. So now the new thing, the superiority of the world to come, compared to the days of Mashiach, is that it's a revelation that Ayin Loiroasa, no one has ever seen it, Eden, right? Like we know that Yemais Mashiach, somebody has seen it, right? The prophets have seen it.
But they haven't seen Eden.
Right. No, only the days of Mashiach.
No, they haven't seen Eden in the days of Mashiach.
No, they didn't see Eden there.
Right.
They only saw the days of Mashiach, and Eden they did not see there.
Right.
And how do we know that they saw Yemais Mashiach? Because they told us about it.
Oh, the prophets.
Yeah, the prophets.
Yeah.
They told us about it. They weren't hiding it.
They described it.
Yes. All these prophets, they was very vocal about this Indian. But they never saw Aden, because Aden no eye has seen. So this they couldn't tell us about. From this we can understand that the world to come will reveal that which we draw down through doing mitzvahs now. But since this revelation is also in Yemais Mashiach, that's not the main revelation of the world to come, of the time of resurrection. Because the real thing of the Olam Haba, of the world to come, is Eden, which no eye has seen. Meaning, like we said before, it's something that is not revealed, not even in the days of Mashiach, which is Hashem's essential delight and pleasure in Jews. Higher even than his delight in our Torah and mitzvahs, just his delight in our essence.
That's the planting of his hands.
Yeah, exactly. The planting of his hands that beautifies him. In many places, it explains the difference between Torah and mitzvahs. Torah is Hashem's wisdom, in which his pleasure is dressed, but the mitzvahs, Hashem's rotzin, his desire is dressed. The essence of his pleasure is dressed there, which is called Eden. That's the essence of Hashem's desire, pleasure. A river flows from Eden to water the garden, Gan Eden, the paradise. The godly pleasure which is drawn down to their souls in Gan Eden through their understanding of Torah, which this is a small contracted pleasure, even though it comes from Eden, which is infinite pleasure, but it comes down and it comes in a contracted way. It comes down and the river makes it limited. And it's drawn down to the river, the understanding of Bina, which this separates between Eden, the world to come, and Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. But the great new thing of Olam Haba compared to Yemais Mashiach, right, in the resurrection, what's great about it compared to the days of Mashiach, is that there will be a revelation of Eden itself. It's not going to be a revelation of like a filtered down revelation, but mamish, a revelation of Eden. This Eden that no eye has seen, that even the prophets didn't see, and that the revelation of the world to come is through our mitzvahs. But since there is in general some revelation of the reward of our mitzvahs, also in the Yemais Mashiach, so that's how we know it's not yet the true essential revelation of the world to come. It's not the actual Eden that no eye has seen. The real perfection of Olam Haba, of the world to come, is the revelation of Hashem's essential delight in his people. Eden, which no eye has seen, which this is even higher than his delight in our service of Torah and mitzvahs. Which, by the way, nevertheless, this is true. This is a godly delight, but it's not his essential light in us ourselves. It has something to do with what we have done. Not so Olam Haba, which is the revolt for the mitzvahs, which is a revelation of Eden itself.
So, my question is, someone who denies the resurrection of the dead, essentially they are a Jew. Why should will they miss out?
Finally, they won't deny it. They'll say, well, the evidence suggests that there is such a thing.
Well, no, they're not going to be around for the resurrection of the dead, so they're not going to enjoy.
How do you know what they're going to be? What do you mean?
They're not going to enjoy the reward for essentially being their essential Jewishness.
Okay, but what I'm saying is they'll finally come to the realization that yes, there is such a thing in the Torah. Mashiach will come and say, see, here it is.
Leib, I want to tell you a story. This is a known thing. You know, in the very horrific and really holy place, it's a very funny thing. People don't call it this, but you know, this place called Auschwitz. It's really a very holy place. It's a sanctified place because the Jewish blood was spilled in this place. And we know that they would go, the Jews would go there, they would be taking them to the gas chambers. And you know what they were singing? Ani Mamin, I believe. I believe in Bevias HaMashiach. I believe in the coming of Mashiach. And by the way, this wasn't just rabbis and what's it called. This was just Jews with their whole life. There was quote unquote denying the existence of God. And when they being brought to their holy death and Kal Kiddush Hashem to sanctify God's name, what do they sing? Ani Mamin, I believe. So I think really, Leib, the answer is that every Jew is connected, and in this essence level, every Jew is connected. And say one who denies, but what Jew denies the resurrection of the dead? Nobody.
Well, anyway, he said the one who denies that it's in the Torah. He didn't say denies the resurrection. He said denies.
Yeah.
So Mashiach's going to come and say, here it is in the Torah, and here, oh, and the guy go, oh, yeah, it is in there.
Here it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So from this we see that the main level of Eden is Olam Haba, is the world to come. When the revealed essential delight of Hashem in the Jews, which is higher than the essential delight from the mitzvahs, will be.
The father gets great nachas when the kid gets all A's in school.
Right.
But he loves the kid essentially.
And that's even higher than the A's. He loves the kid more than he loves the A's.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even if the kid doesn't get good grades, or
Yeah.
he only the father loves the kid essentially. That's the whole thing.
It's in essence, and he can't, and not only that, and he can't even help himself. Leib, how about the niggin? Give out.
What about her meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Anything to say about our boys and girls on the front lines?
Yes.
This is what this
is all about. This song, why should we worry? What will be tomorrow? Harninu goyim amei. Be careful, people. Hashem is watching out for his nation. We want to give a blessing to all of these soldiers and the police and security forces of the land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael, who put their life at risk to protect their people, to protect their land, and to protect the promise from their God that this land is theirs. And let me tell you, everybody, you should know, the one thing is most important to know. Like Bitzalel says all the time, that the land of Israel belongs to the Jewish people because God gave it to them a gift. And so we want to dedicate this next song to all these special boys and girls and men and ladies who put their lives on the line all the time to protect his holy land and his holy nation. Was soll man sagen, was wird sein morgen, als der Schenker wird uns borgen. Es mögen doch sein, Wein und der Wein, nehmen wir eine Kellerschicke rein. Was soll man sagen, was wird sein morgen, als der Schenker wird uns borgen. Es mögen doch sein, Wein und der Wein, nehmen wir eine Kellerschicke rein. Harninu goyim amei, kidam avodori yikein, v'no kom yoshir letzor, v'chipei hatosei amei. Harninu goyim amei, kidam avodori yikein, v'no kom yoshir letzor, v'chipei hatosei amei. Harninu goyim amei, kidam avodori yikein, v'no kom yoshir letzor, v'chipei hatosei amei. Harninu goyim amei, kidam avodori yikein, v'no kom yoshir letzor, v'chipei hatosei amei. Hey, ay, ay, didam, ay, ay, didam, ay, ay, didam, ay, ay, didam. Hey, ay, didam, ay, ay, didam, ay, ay, didam, ay, ay, didam. Hey, ay, didam. vegat mos yambe. Arlinu geim geim amida parot avike. Kam yoshir yoshir tzor iper mos yambe. Arlinu geim geim amida parot avike. Kam yoshir yoshir tzor iper mos yambe. Hey ya 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 da ya ya da ya 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 da ya da. Hey ya 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 da ya ya da ya 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 da. Hey, hey, ay, 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 diraya, 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 diraya. Hey, hey, ay, 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 diraya, 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 diraya. Hey, diraya, diraya. Ay, 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 diraya, ay, ay, diraya. Ay, 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 diraya, ay, ay, diraya. Hey, ay, 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 diraya.
Yeah.
So now Bitzalel and my dear holy brothers and sisters, to explain the greatness of Trias HaMesim, of the resurrection, compared to Yemais HaMashiach, compared to the days of Mashiach, and similarly, both levels of Olam Haba, right? Meaning the Yemais HaMashiach and the...
No, the two levels.
meaning
one
the vote for the
and one
mitzvahs and the one for the
essence
essence,
of the soul.
which is superior to Gan Eden. Firstly, how is the Yemais HaMashiach, the days of Mashiach, superior to the Garden of Eden, where the souls are without bodies in paradise, while in the days of Mashiach, the souls are in bodies in a physical world? Like in the future, the land of Israel will grow delicious bread and cakes that are ready to eat. By the way, if you've ever been in Shuk Machane Yehuda, I think that the Yemais HaMashiach has started already. You should see those Borekas Bitzalel Gewalt. Gan Eden is only spiritual. It is the light of godly revelation, right? It's only the light that fills the vials, memale kol almin, which is a limited light to fit inside limited vials, and it's only spiritual. Therefore, its revelation cannot reach the physical world. However, in Yemais HaMashiach, there will be an unlimited revelation, which will be able to come all the way down to the physical world because it's unlimited. It can go everywhere. The second difference between the days of Mashiach and Paradise, Gan Eden, is that Gan Eden has levels. There's a lower Gan Eden and an upper Gan Eden. And each one has uncountable levels. What's the thing it says? Lahanchil Olam Yesh, right? He gives an inheritance of Yesh to his to the tzaddikim, which is his Shin Yud Shai Olam has 310 worlds for his tzaddik, meaning that because even by the tzaddikim, each tzaddik, the revelation to him is not exactly the same because one, his whole thing was davening, and one, his whole thing was learning, etc., etc.
And they never have any rest. They keep going up
they
and
go
up.
up and up and up. As we learn in Pirkei Avos, the ethics of our fathers, the Talmidei Chachamim have no rest in Gan Eden. Their souls are always ascending in levels, so they have no rest, which indicates that there is some kind of service involved in reaching the next level. Before reaching the new level, the soul must immerse in a spiritual river called Nohar Dinoir, the river of fire, to forget the previous revelation that it had and its previous comprehension of godly light. After nullifying its previous realization, the soul can go up to a pillar to which it becomes nullified and it's able to receive now a higher revelation. But this, achieving new levels of revelation, this is in Gan Eden, in paradise. It's where there is souls without bodies. It is similar to our service down here from Sur Meira, stay away from bad. This is the fire river. On do good, which is the pillar that brings us up. But Yemaisa Mashiach, on the other hand, the days of Mashiach, also has many elevations of revelations. But since the soul is in the body, you don't have to lose the previous level before you get the next level. You can go up to the next level without losing the first one. So we could say, to explain, how creation and enlivenment of existence is through the godly light being contracted to fit inside the molecule almond, right, to enliven, because it has to contract itself, because we physical beings cannot handle an unlimited revelation, because mirvelen gegangen poof. To enliven and bring into each creation according to its capacity, according to its form, and according to its function. Whether we're talking about the capacity, form, and function of an entire world, or the capacity, form, and function of an individual being, like an individual person, or even an individual blade of grass. The light is contracted from up till down, because first the higher spiritual creation, and then the lower manifestations, with more coverings and less light. Right, as it goes down in level, it needs to cover more because the lower creations have a less capacity for his light. Like it says that Shlomo, King Solomon, gave 3,000 metaphors for each of his chachmas, for each of his concepts, to bring it down to a lower understanding. For each idea he had to give 3,000 allegories, metaphors, to bring it down so a normal person can understand. That is why Gan Eden, the souls must forget earlier revelations in paradise. The souls, they have to forget the earlier realizations and revelations of godly light. They have to get rid of those garments of the lower level. Why? Because what they learned in the lower level is limited, and that's what it can handle. So they have to first get rid of it in order to then be able to handle a bigger light.
So they go through the river of fire.
And the pillar.
Yeah, and the pillar.
It's like out of the sauna into the swimming pool, sort of.
Yeah, so the same thing when it goes up, yeah. So it has to achieve a higher level, so it first has to get rid of the lower level. Our ancestors, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Moshe Rabbeinu, they have been ascended. What?
Is today. And birthday.
Yeah, what was birthday?
Shabbos.
Moshe.
Yeah, it's coming up, yeah. That's right.
On Shabbos.
On Shabbos.
Yeah. Oh boy, it's gonna be a good Shabbos, like. So they have been ascending for more than 3,000 years. But even them, they finally must go to a much higher level than that, because if all that is limited, and they must finally actually re-enter their bodies to receive the unlimited resurrection. And like all statements of the stages, the number 3,000 is exact. 3,000 years indicates
your name.
Gimel Aleph, yeah. Bitzalel, it's Gimel Aleph. 3,000 years in it, the three worlds, Bria, Yetzira, Asiyah, 1,000 for each one, to which the forefathers and Moshe have ascended. And more than 3,000 indicates all the way up to Atzilus, even higher than Bria, to the world that is connected completely to godliness, the level which has total godly unity. It doesn't even know that it exists. It's completely unified with God. But even their exalted souls will come into bodies by the resurrection to receive the revelation of essence. Right? The essence of the infinite light.
No, the essence of the soul. The essence of the godly soul will be revealed.
So they will receive the atmosphere itself, no, by this point.
It could be, but what he's saying here is that the essence of the soul, which is a piece of God, will be revealed. And that's our reward.
And it'll be revealed, but not just revealed, but revealed here in this physical world.
Well, in the world to come.
Yeah.
Then, in the body.
Yeah. Because each world, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, has 1,000 levels. So 3,000 years is the 1,000 levels of each of those three worlds. And more than 3,000 years means that they've already divested even from those worlds and reached the emanating the world of Atzilus, which is unified with godliness. Nevertheless, they must dress in bodies to reach the level higher than Gan Eden. Not so the ascent of the days of Mashiach. That the ascent of the days of Mashiach will not be necessary to leave the levels of this world, the bodies, because there will be a revelation of infinite light revealed even in this world. But even in the revelation of the days of Mashiach, it's still only a revelation of light. Even though it's a light, a makif light, a great light that surrounds all the worlds equally, which is incomparably higher than the godliness in the Gan Eden in paradise, which is only the light that fills the world, not the light that surrounds the world. And in the days of Mashiach will be the light that surrounds the world, but still there will still be levels of the revelation. However, in Olam Haba, in the world to come, by the revelation, when they will the resurrection, there will be a revelation of the essence of light, the way it actually is, the way it mamish is by itself, higher than being contained in any vessels. And this all Israel will receive equally. However, like we said before, even in the world to come, even in the resurrection, there are two levels of two kinds of revelations of the godly satisfaction. There is a revelation to us that happens as a reward for the service we accomplish through our mitzvahs, through doing his commandments. But then there's an even greater revelation, an ascent of the Jews to an even higher level, that of the Jewish essence, the planting of his hands through which he is beautified. Because like our father loves the kid, because the source of the soul is higher than even what the Torah and mitzvahs. It is the essence of Hashem essentially, right? Like the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, that Kol Nefesh MiYisrael, every soul, Jewish soul, who Chelik Eloikam Imal Mamish, it is a piece of God from above, Mamish, literally. Even though the father gets great nachas, gets great joy when the kid does what he wants, nevertheless, the love and the light in the kid himself is higher and more essential than even anything the kid does. But this is why a father, even when his kid does what the father doesn't want and makes him upset, but the father still loves the kid with all his heart, with all his soul, because there's a love that's higher than anything the kid does. And this is this love. Until finally, even the Jewish body is chosen by Hashem in his free choice and rooted like the Jewish soul in his very essence. And this, my friends, is the meaning of the resurrection, of the coming back of the neshamis in the bodies. Leib, how about Vayibi Me'achashverosh? It is other after all. I think it's E and G pretty much. Yeah.
How about we do
Take care, Tim.
all right, thank you.
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you want to do first?
Yeah, it's just, I think it's only 3 chords. So I think it's E, G, and D. Vayibim Achashverosh, oh Achashverosh, Vayibim Achashverosh, oh Achashverosh, Hamelech me'yelo v'yatkush, Hamelech me'yelo v'yatkush, Sheva v'yasrim me'yom b'tino, Sheva v'yasrim me'yom b'tino, Vayibim Achashverosh, oh Achashverosh, Vayibim Achashverosh, oh Achashverosh, Hamelech me'yelo v'yatkush, Hamelech me'yelo v'yatkush, Sheva Circle song. Circle song.
Let's see.
Little C. All different thing, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay, kids, see you next time.
Where's the G?
Remember, kids, Gezintahait.